This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers, more than meets the eye, Autobot Outback, part of their retro card back line. And this card's actually kind of messed up in the one spot there on the right, so that sucks. But we're taking them apart anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? This is a Walmart exclusive, or starts out as a Walmart exclusive. I'm sure we'll see it everywhere else at some point, maybe. I don't know. Actually, we haven't really seen the retro card backs anywhere, although, whatever. That being said, I also want to kind of say that, you know how I've mentioned previously that I pretty much liked every mini-bot for the most part, except for a couple of them. Well, from the original G1 line, that is. Outback was one of them, and of course, Brawn is the other one because their toys just look kind of dumb, as you can kind of see in that picture there. But I will admit, this is definitely a time when they made ginormous improvements on the toys. All right, so if we look at the back here, we have some of the old ass artwork. It's a world of constant change where things are not what they seem. It is the world of Transformers, a world of heroic Autobots and evil Decepticons. Actually, did they used to say that in the old commercials at one point? I wonder if I could find that if they did. But yeah, it's just standard artwork. In fact, Outback isn't even on this one, right? Just the Dinobots, a bunch of Decepticons, including a couple of the deluxe ones, more or less. The red version of Trax, which was the color the original Diaclone was, and Jetfire. Which surprisingly is, the old artwork style Jetfire, which I'm surprised Harmony Gold hasn't gone to sue Hasbro for using this artwork, because that's a Veritech fighter and they own every right to Macross in the United States, and they will die with that. Which would be nice if they just gave us a standard translation and brought the actual Macross other series sequels out to us. But no, they suck balls. They suck sweaty monkey ball, period. Anyway, so on his tech spec here, we see that Outback's function is gunner. His quote, "Rules are detours on the road of life. He thinks going by the book is going the long way. Doesn't follow plans or roads." Strength 6, intelligence 5, speed 6, firepower 5. He's a gunner and his firepower is only 5. What the hell? And then we have this giant ass thing up at the top of that one, which is in between intelligence and speed. That's the new tech specs are just stupid. Anyway, let's go ahead and open them up. It's nice that he's designed to hold his gun because the original toy was not designed to hold his gun. Speaking of which, let's do a quick comparison here between the original one, as I found him when I was looking for Power Glide, and the new version. So when I say the new version is quite an improvement over the old one, you can kind of see why right here, right? I mean, there are some issues, but not too bad. Although the giant ass Autobot symbol back there on him is kind of dumb looking. I remember Brawn, he had these kind of arms too, but they had just a claw at the end and not fists. Which is why I was disappointed when they did their toy version, the retro card back one. They changed his face to match the toy, but they did not actually change the hands to match the toy, which was a shame. But Outback, if I had his gun, it would plug into the wheel just like they actually do with these guys. So we can put him aside for now, and let's go ahead and take a look at this dude. We got the blue paint up there for his eyes, paint for where the stickers were, no paint on his crotch. Honestly, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of expecting him to use the same torso as Brawn because I figured Hasbro would cheap out like that. But no, they did give us a new torso that actually matches up mostly with the one that came with the original toy. Because it had to be a new part, because that was an entire piece on its own. Well, let's just show you, see. Yeah, this whole part here is one single piece, right? Okay. So that being said, let's take a look at this dude's articulation here. His head can spin right and left. That's about it. All right, and that's because of the design of this Transformer. I guess they probably could have done some more to give a little bit of additional articulation, like if they'd just gone ahead and give him a little bit of a neck maybe. But they didn't, so we don't get any up or down or cocking it or anything. It's just right and left. The arms rotate 360. They hinge outward. We do have a bicep cut here, which is nice. The gun. Oh, weird. There's a pin in there, but it's got some covering of looks like some of the brown plastic. Or the brown Or, yeah, that's weird. I'm not sure what's going on there. So, yeah, we do have a single elbow. If we take the gun out of his hand, we can actually get a full bend up to there. He does not have a twist in his hand, but of course for transformation, the hand does kind of move in and out like that. We do have the waist swivel here at the bottom, and as long as you have the junk in his trunk pushed out a little bit towards that way, you don't have any real hindrance there. We do have a thigh cut, and we do get a knee bend. Not quite 90 degrees on there, however. The toes bend, although that, again, articulation more than anything else. And we have the ankle rocker for posing. His gun here, his only accessory, is molded in brown, the same as his body, and then painted with a glossy black paint. Which looks okay, but again, I don't know why they don't just mold these things, especially since they knew they were going to be doing this a couple times. They could have put this on a black sprocket, right? I know why they didn't paint the handhold, because, you know, just rub off. But they could have actually painted the rest of this, you know? Just like, actually, they could have... Well, I guess since this is a metallic silver, maybe they couldn't. But, you know, they could have done this in a gray, right? A gunmetal gray instead. Since the entire part here is, you know, hand. And if you look... Here, let's fold his hand in there. You'll know they didn't do any silver up on these parts, so those kind of stand out even in robot mode when the fist is out. So that's kind of a bummer. Let's see if I can remember how to transform this guy, because I've only done it with 2 other versions, you know. Oh yeah, okay, so we hinge that forward. Oh yeah, pull these down here. Get the arms out of the way. Then that should allow it. Oh my gosh. Oh, there we go. We were able to spin that around then. We can turn the head in. No, we can't turn the head in, actually. By the way, look at the back of the head. Once you take that out, it's actually detailed, surprisingly. We put his head back into place here because it's got that little thing that would have been the winch in the original toy. But actually doesn't do anything on this version of the toy. So he does not have his winch on the front. The fists need to go in. Was there? Oh, shit. I think... Okay, yeah, okay. I don't think we actually do anything else with that part, because the arms will be hidden inside the vehicle mode. Here. So we'll kind of work that until we get that up and out of the way. Fold the arms in. There is a tab here and a slot over here. So that means we need to turn these things like so and push them together. There's also, oops. Sometimes it's hard to try to show this. We've also got another tab right here. Hopefully you guys can see it. Another slot over there. So both the shoulders or the biceps and the wrists bind together like that. And then this goes down and folds down there. And then we have this giant ass Autobot symbol, which is supposed to be representative of this symbol, but it just looks really bad, period. And they did it on both sides, which is even stupider. All right, that just leaves us with the feet, which now this is the part that I had problems with the previous one. Okay, yeah. So the top goes down. And this gives us his legs. If you want him to look more like his original toy, that is how you do it with the legs right there. I don't know why I did that accent. That was kind of dumb sounding. We'll fold the feet and the ankles in. The ankles or the heels in. Because this will fold back like this. Oh, shit. Wait. Oh, no, those are upside down. Okay, we have to turn them at the waist, I think. Yeah, like that. And then we fold these back. You're going to want to make sure that the feet parts go into there. So kind of like if you're a woman and you're trying to put your side boob in your bra. And then you close it up like that. Do the same thing over here. Ooh, hold on. I almost missed something here. So you see right here, there's that little tab, and then there's a little slot in the fist. So that actually can go into there also. Because also we do have the little tab down here and a little slot there. So we're kind of moving all that shit into position and folding it all down like so. Oh, and then we can push that down. Kind of, these are kind of like tabs and hooks, but they go on there like that. And then again, we just kind of have to squeeze everything together. And the gun goes up on top. And once more, as I was saying, this actually is how this original figure went, but I don't have the gun for it. So if we do the comparisons of vehicle mode, they did a pretty good job copying the vehicle mode here. I mean, this isn't quite as clean looking as this is, but he also has a simpler transformation and not as many moving parts for transformation. But as you can see, the rub sign for the Autobot symbol here is kind of plastered back there on the back window. And again, they're trying to replicate that sort of thing, though I do think they probably should have just... Honestly, they should have just painted that window black, because look at this, okay? So that window has the Autobot symbol in it. That's black. Autobot symbol, black, black. So every window on here is black except for the ones with the Autobot symbol. And you can't even use the excuse that you were, duplicating this thing because the side windows weren't painted. So, yeah, they should have just painted this window. You could have put an Autobot symbol on top of the window, but put it towards the back more, and I think that would have looked better. I think just in the center here it looks bad. And the fact that you got all this other black paint on here for the windows just distracts from that. Just makes that look even worse. You know what I mean? But what do you guys think about that? Do you think it looks worse because of that? Do you agree with me that, they should just painted that black and maybe put an Autobot symbol on top of the window? As far as movements go, the original one moves really nice because the wheels are pinned on. The new one moves like okay because those are mushroom pegs holding the wheels on. And they don't move quite as well. Let me get right down to it. And again, this is kind of like the little winch that is on here, which is missing here because his head doesn't actually go all the way up there. Even though they did kind of replicate the way it looked on that one, you know what I mean? Oh, we probably could have turned his head all the way inside. I think I may have done that at one point and then turned it back, to help hide the face. But again, it's not like when you pull this over, you're not going to realize it's a robot in disguise with the head not showing. You know what I mean? So there is that. So while I have admitted that Outback and Brawn were not my favorite toys back in the 80s, and honestly I'm surprised I have this Outback figure from the 80s, I will fully say that they have made a remarkable improvement in these deluxe versions of them. They look great. Their vehicle and robot modes are both really well done, and when you get right down to it, it is pretty spot on. Although again, if they painted the windshields in the back instead of putting the Autobot symbol on it, it would have looked more like the original toy there too, you know what I mean? So again, that's a fail in my opinion. I don't know what they were thinking with that. And I don't imagine, honestly, that we would get another version of this guy in the Transformer line, just because I just don't see, like, what would they do for an Age of the Primes or Age of Evolution, whatever they're calling the next set, to make this guy any different, because I don't remember if he ever showed up in the cartoon, and if he did, I don't remember what he looked like in the cartoon. But as far as matching up the old toy, yeah, they did an excellent job of making an updated version of that figure, and he looks great. I would say pretty much spot on overall when you get right down to it. And you can even transform the legs to look like the legs of the original toy if you want to. And if you want to, go seek psychological help. That being said, I have seen him in the wild before. I haven't really looked recently, but he has been available actually in the stores, at least once. So if you didn't get a chance to order him, you could probably still find him in the wild. He might even still be online to order. I don't know. But I do think he is a nice figure and he'll be a great addition to your Transformers line. So I would definitely recommend him. But why don't you guys let me know what you think of this figure in the comments below. below. And if you enjoyed this review, please feel free to blast that like button. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. Perhaps you might even want to give a little tap to that notification bell. I don't know. But I thank you for watching. Peace and love. Just on a quick side note, if you're still listening to me right now, I actually did record like a review with the original Brawn figure that they released a number of years ago, back when I wasn't talking in my videos still, if you go back that far. But I did record an unboxing and a transformation for him. You know what? I might have actually started talking that one too, now that I think about it. I probably saw the video somewhere, but I never posted it because as I was doing it, I'm like, what is this red spot on this figure? And then I'm like, oh, there's another one. I don't remember seeing these earlier. What is going on? And then that's when I realized that I had cut myself when I was opening the box, or when I first started trying to transform him, because all those spots were blood, which is one of the reasons why I never got around to editing the video, because I didn't know what YouTube's thing for blood would be. I could probably get away with it though. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Peace and love.